All right, friends, welcome back to another video here at The Growing Pro. My name is Adam, and I go by Coach Hargains. Now, why do I go by Coach Hargains? Well, that's because I've been coaching bodybuilding and current and recovering drug addiction for over 27 years. Hargains is the name of my platform, and I've been called Coach Hargains for over 20 years. That's why. Many people have been asking, what is The Growing Pro? And that's a great question. A really good question I'm glad that people are asking. What is The Growing Pro? Because The Growing Pro is not a camera channel. This is not camera conspiracies. I'm not Tony Northrup. I'm not Gerald Undone. I'm not going to be, don't want to be. I am very different. I have led a very completely different life than Gerald Undone. Guarantee it. Now, what I do is a lot of run and gun shooting. That tends to be with what we're recording with today because I just love this camera, and that's my Sigma FP rig, which you can find all over our channel. Lots of playlists, but we'll put a link in the description. But my point is this. This camera is shooting content creation right now. And to me, I think it's doing beautifully. I have one key light here, one softbox key light here. You can buy that for a cheap version of that. I have one Octabox over there. You can buy a cheap version of that. I have a podcast mic. This mic itself, which sounds fantastic, costs $99. Then the podcast arm. I have my up and downy adjustable table here. I got that, was a little more expensive. And then I've got my favorite video tripod, which I've told you every single time I see them on sale on Amazon, I buy one. That's why I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the same video tripod. And I'm not going to get too deep into it because I've made an entire video on this video tripod, but why are people spending $1,000 to $1,500 to $3,000 for a video tripod that's going to break eventually when I bought this tripod, this one, for $65? And it has a fluid head, a ball head, and it goes up to 79 inches. And I've never had one break. And I've been using these things for 10 years or so, or as long as they've been out. And I've been through 24 of them by now. I've given away half a dozen of them. Every time I build a cinema rig for a client, I give them one of these. So what is my point? You're like, what is your point, Coach? What the hell are you talking about? My point is this. I have 4 cameras in front of me. All right. 4 cameras in front of me. And a 5th camera that we're shooting with right now. The cheapest camera in front of me is this. The Lumix GH5. Most expensive camera in front of me, I guess, is going to be the GH6. Then, on the other side of things, which are more hybrid and photocentric, I've got my XH1. This is paired with a Viltrox 75mm 1.2, which I love that lens. And my Lumix S1, which I am quickly falling in love with, paired with the Sigma 17-40. Okay. We have 4 cameras now in front of us, and we have the Sigma FP, which I love, absolutely love. The point that I want to make to you out there, if you are a new filmmaker, oh, yeah, we have one more, my phone. I've seen some pretty cracking done with a phone. My point to you out there is this. In the right hands, with the right mindset, with the right creative juices flowing, any one of these will give you the same results. It's about you. It's not about this camera. It's not about the GH6 over the GH5. When I go shoot photography, it's not about the XH1 over the S1. It is about the lens choice that I make with photography. Absolutely. And I admit I do see things differently when I look through the viewfinder of an XH1. Just because it's Fujifilm. And I'm looking through a simulation many times that shows me colors differently. But stop putting off today to tomorrow what could be done yesterday. That's not the saying, but that's how I'm going to say it. You could have already been working on your craft, honing in on your craft, becoming a filmmaker, becoming a content creator, becoming a professional photographer yesterday. If you'd stop listening to so many YouTubers tell you that you need the next greatest, next latest, best thing to do what you could have done yesterday with a GH5. And by the way, this GH5 will never go out of style. That GH5 will never not be an incredible camera. Period. End of story. My point is, here at The Growing Pro, what we aim to do is bring you 20 plus years of experience. Now let me break that down a little bit for you. That's 20 plus years of experience within the entertainment industry. And I look at that more as like my experience in video and photo. But I was a model 30 years ago. I was an actor 30 years ago. And I was a musician, performing, touring artist, engineer, and producer since the age of 18. I'm now 46. But I didn't get serious about filmmaking and actually being on the other side of the camera as the creative eye until about 20 years ago. But you could be creating your name right now. You could watch this video, you can grab your camera, you can grab your notebook, start writing stuff down, and go make something. My point is this: you don't even know what tomorrow brings. I just made a video. Go watch it if you haven't. We'll link it here. I walked into one of the biggest opportunities of my entire life musically that propelled me to become a professional music producer and get invited to have chairs on both coasts. That means to have my own studio chair on the East Coast and the West Coast, in Philly and in Santa Barbara, in LA and in New York. And I walked into that opportunity, happenstance, as an accident. But I was ready to step up to what the need was. And I stepped up. I was a little nervous. I wasn't scared, but I was a little nervous. I'll be real. I was a little nervous at the time because it was with an artist that was legendary, that I emulated very, very much so, because he was amazing. He still is amazing. His voice is phenomenal. And my voice doesn't hold a flame to his, but as a producer, he can't produce the way that I can. At the time, he was pretty much, a lot of it was self-produced, but he still couldn't produce or be an engineer, an active engineer the way that I could at 19 years old. So I want you to stop just watching YouTube videos that waste your time, fill your head with shit, and I want you to go make a name for yourself. I already did my thing. I did my thing. I lived my life. I got to live most of my life before I even had kids, and I'm a single father of 6. I got to live a lot of my dreams out before I hit the age of 22. Even as an artist, as a painter, here. This is not to gloat. I will just say I have been painting since the age of 6. I was offered $15,000 for this painting when I had my first solo gallery showing at a real gallery filled with my paintings, and it was surreal. And I was offered $15,000 for this painting. That's not a lot for many artists. Many artists are getting 100 plus, 250, getting commissioned for $500,000 for paintings. But as a college student, to be offered that much money for this painting, and I turned it down. The reason I turned it down is because this painting is titled, "This Is My Heart." And what this painting is about is a dichotomy between what I experience in life. And I'm going to leave it at that. I want to let you look at this painting. You now know the title. You know what this is about. And I'll leave the interpretation up to you. But regardless, I turned it down because I wanted to keep this painting. I didn't want to give it away because it meant that much to me. But if you go out and chase your dreams and you never give up, they're going to happen. Dreams may change. Passions may change. You feel your purpose in life may shift. But if you continue to chase and chase and chase what you want to do and what you are passionate about, it's going to happen. But if you sit on your crapper or lay in bed all night watching YouTube videos, constantly consuming garbage opinions, people who are saying the same thing to you about why the Atomos Shinobi 2 is a crappy monitor when I love it to death. That's one of my favorite monitors. I don't care what someone says about the Atomos Shinobi 2. I love that monitor. I have a Fieldworld 7-inch that costs $64 on Amazon right here. It serves its purpose just fine for me. Because when I go out into the ghetto and I'm running and gunning, literally, I'm taking this monitor with me. It's a plastic housing, so it's very, very light. Either this or what I have on the Sigma FP right now, which is typically what will go out, the Portkeys PT5 Mark II, because that keeps my package compact. But everything serves a purpose. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get out your journal right now. And it's the same thing that I teach on our main channel that's about addiction recovery. You need to be journaling everything. You need to be putting all your thoughts, all your emotions, all your feelings down. You need to put your struggles down. You need to write down your addictions. You need to write down your dreams, your goals, your aspirations. You need to write it all down. And then you need to make those your priority. And nothing stands in your way. There's so many fake ass gurus all over YouTube who are telling you how they got their Lamborghini, how they got their hot girl, how they got their muscles. I've been a bodybuilding coach for 27 years. Nothing pisses me off more than a fake natty, if you know what that is. But there's fake natties in every industry. There's fake natties all over the camera world. YouTubers who buy an incredible camera, rig it out and say, so this is how I rig out my camera for my big production. Where's that big production? Is it out there? Now, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of legitimate YouTubers out there. Plenty. Mark Bowen is one of my favorites. I love his work. I love what he does. I love what he's capable of doing. Peter McKinnon came out of nowhere, and I don't even know what he really does as a whole, but he came out of nowhere, and he's just Peter McKinnon. And he did what he did, and he did it well, and it caught on, and he made a name for himself as Peter McKinnon. And whether Peter McKinnon makes films or comparison videos for products or commercials or test shoots or posts his photographs on Instagram and whatever Peter McKinnon does, he's earned the right to just be Peter McKinnon. But you can too. You can be that. Now you may also look at me as like, who's this guy here on a channel with 500 subscribers? But our other channel had, and somehow we're losing subscribers. Videos are getting deleted. Our channel's been demonetized because of the material. Because apparently we don't follow community guidelines. But I hope that something in today's video will ignite a fire under your ass to go and find your passion and your purpose. And let nothing stand in the way of you chasing after it and making a name for yourself. That's what I want you to do. Because my life revolves around my children. I made my name beforehand, I chased my dreams, turned them into goals, made it a reality, lived my life very fully. Then I lost my life. My life was taken from me. Thank God I'm still here. 2003, I lost function of all my organs and I lost everything. And my entire life, the complete trajectory of the rest of my life changed. I have faced near-death experiences at least half a dozen times. But I'm still here. I'm still kicking, pushing, and I'm still going. But my passion and my purpose is 100% my children. I do what I do to pay the bills. I'm blessed to get to do something I love to do, but that's only because I worked my ass off for years to make doing what I love to do able to pay the bills. And if you think for 1 second that paying the bills as a single father of 6, all on your own, receiving no child support, receiving no help, if you think that's easy for 1 second, then you really have no grasp on reality. But I am blessed, truly blessed, to do what I do every day. But the greatest blessing of every day is when my children come home after school and yell to me, "Daddy, we're home!" And I get to hug them and hold them and see them and talk to them and ask them about their day. And there is nothing in the world, ever, no achievement, no accolade, no award, no nothing that will ever come as close to the fulfillment of my children. And I live every single day for my children, for their success, for their futures, for their path, for their journey. So friends, that's today's video. My name is Coach Hargains. This is The Growing Pro. I hope that helps you understand a little bit more about what we do here at The Growing Pro. My goal is to give you all of my experiences throughout the entertainment industry so that you can absorb everything you need, anything that will help you circumvent this whole process, this learning process, this spending money, wasting money, successful endeavor, not so successful endeavor, and get to a point where you are making money with your craft, doing what you love faster. That's my goal. And that is The Growing Pro. All right, friends. Catch you next video.